Hello, good afternoon. So we got just 30 minutes up here. If any one of you can hear me, just send me a thumb and then we can get on. Hey, Nene Frida. Koro. Is anybody able to hear me? I've been all right, I'm in and out. Thank you very much. So we would just go quickly into the cops matters. This has been very, very important to me, and I think it should be very important to every Gambian. Not simply because the people that are killed or the person that is alleged to be the killer of these cops, no, but simply because something is not going right in this case, and it's very obvious that the state has a lot at stake, and we cannot continue to be silent about it. And after providing 13 witnesses, they have ended their case, and we hope that the defense would obviously come up. Thus far, we know the defense counsel would actually put up a no case to answer, but at the end of that, we expect that the judge hopefully or would decide over that, and then the defense might definitely come up. And that is where we would understand how the government of the Gambia has been very manipulative in the killing of the cops, that it has a huge responsibility on. So today I'll give you 25 contradictions, doubts that the government continue to tell us. And among them is, they told us that Mama Jabi, who is more or less the person who reported Ousainou to the Senegalese gendarmerie and had recorded him, and in that record, nothing there was said about the killing of the cops, if not Ousainou talking about Natubabo here and there, and then Mama on the other side screaming on her phone, "Oh, you killed the cops," trying to put words in the mouths of the dude who luckily did not even get to mention anything about killing the cops, if not saying, I had purged that particular spot and I met a whole lot of people there. But what was said in court is that when Mama was asked about this particular audio that the police considered incriminating, and that led to the arrest of Ousainou Bojang, what she said was she had removed her SIM card from her phone and also deleted her WhatsApp. That is why she lost the audio. But this audio was with the public. It was with the police. It was with everybody. And this is what led to the arrest of Ousainou Bojang. But deliberately and intentionally, the prosecution refused to bring this audio to court because they know very well that there is nothing incriminating in this audio. But when Mama said she had removed or deleted her WhatsApp, DPP, who is basically there for prosecution, had a contradictory statement to Mama's, because what he said was Mama's phone was spoiled. So you can see, I removed my SIM card from my phone and my phone is spoiled. This is first contradiction that the state has provided to the courts. And we can basically tell that they are being manipulative in that sense, because you arrested somebody on the basis of an audio and you deliberately and intentionally refuse to bring this audio to court. And then you start telling people that, oh no, the audio is lost. But we have the audio. Almost every other person has this audio, and this audio will be brought during the defense, and then the police cannot deny that, because it was on the basis of this audio that Mama had reported Ousainou to the Senegalese gendarmerie, who had arrested and detained him and then handed him over to the Gambian authorities. And obviously the Gambian authorities on the side of the DIG, who said that he had used codes here and there with GIS technologies, and then traced this person from one point to another until he got to Casamas, and an unknown person was handed over to them, was completely false and is contradictory. It's complete lies. It does not exist in any technology that the Gambia has at the moment. There is no GIS technology that in the middle of hundreds of people, that all of a sudden you are able to track just one person and to say this is the person that killed the cops. Where on earth will that exist? So telling that to a public, it's more or less somebody very unintelligent who would actually say such a thing. So this is a person whose contract is finished with the Gambia Police Force, and as of today he'll be retiring, and his contract is not being extended or renewed or giving another contract. And including folks like, Sankare, whom he gave all the statements to, is still very pissed with this guy and was one of those who objected to giving him any other contract. So in short, we can tell that even the government is not happy with the statement that the police gave, even though we know very well that it was the office of the president that called them to end that press conference in which they were saying things that not a sane person can imagine. Now, the second thing is that the police at their press conference, the DIG denied mention of any gun recovery. But imagine the witness that came told us that they actually got the gun the day of the incident. So imagine they got the gun the day of the incident, and then he wrestled down this gunman, and then the gunman had thrown a gun at him and then still escaped. But he picked the gun and then called his boss, and his boss told him to hide the gun somewhere, and then he will arrange for it to be picked. Now imagine. The watchman wrestled down the gunman, and then he threw a gun at him. But this watchman could not recognize the clothing of this, gunman, could not tell if it was a jean or a kaftan or whatsoever. He did not know any of that because it was dark. But he was able to identify, recognize, and pick up a gun in that same dark. And he was able to call his boss, who had told him to hide the gun somewhere, and he will arrange for it to be picked up. Now, this gun was not picked up until after 10 days. Now, imagine. You picked a gun. Your boss has no hand in it. Your boss has no business in it. You call your boss and he tells you not to tell anybody and to hide it somewhere, and he will arrange for it to be picked up. So the watchman and the boss have something to answer. If the reality is that this gun cannot be subjected to DNA, why can't the gun be subjected to DNA? Simply because the gun was only picked after 10 days, because the police said it was exposed to sunlight and heat, as well as, rain. Who actually caused that? It would be the watchman and his boss. Now, why did the watchman and his boss deliberately hide this gun if actually the watchman had the guts to testify in the court that he picked the gun on the day of the incident, and he called his boss, who told him to actually put the gun somewhere, and this gun is going to be picked, is going to arrange for it to be picked? Why did it take the police 10 days to pick this gun? Are we thinking? Why did it take the police 10 days to pick the gun? So evidently there is something that did not go right there. So the third of it is that the security advisor told us that Ousainou confessed to killing, and he said he was a rebel in Casamas. We grew up with the dude. Imagine, like, somebody in public life, you tell me that, okay, this person is a rebel. So if the national security advisor could tell us information that are untrue about the case, then something is not right here. So how on earth would you tell us that Ousainou Bojang is a rebel? He confessed to, killing the cops. He said he served the rebellion in Casamas. When? In what duration did he serve? Now, why did the prosecution not bring all of these communications to the courts? Why didn't they bring DIG, the security advisor, Ministry of Interior, as part of those folks who actually have the real-time information and the truth about this case as part of their 13 witnesses? And all of their 13 witnesses, nobody has provided any tangible evidence to this case, if not to say he told me. Now imagine a commissioner of the police would say, oh, he told me in the car that he actually killed the cops. A police commissioner said, oh, he told me in the car that he killed the cops. Now, the funny thing would be, all of these people, what they did was to conceal every potential traceable evidence in this case that will incriminate them within the system, and then try to depend solely on he told us. Now, he told us is the only thing that they have in the 13 witnesses that the state has brought forward in this case. And what they did intentionally and deliberately is to ensure that there is no traceable evidence, no DNA can be conducted, the gun will never be visible, and nothing will be seen. And Mama has received a 1 million and she's enjoying life, and then calling people and asking them if her testimonies were quite accurate or something went wrong. We also know very well that the 13th witness, Ousainou Dari, you had to use a third party to bring him in court. You had to beg over and over and over to ensure that he comes to court, because he had nothing to present in this case. And we also know very well that you intended to bring a 14th witness, which is basically the Senegalese, either gendarmerie or police officer, that you could not succeed in doing, because Senegal understood that what you people did is quite wrong and something is fundamentally not right in this case, and they are not going to actually, sell their sovereignty to come and testify in a case that they have no hand in and they have no business in. What the Senegalese authorities did was, when Mama and Dari reported that this guy confessed to killing, they actually detained him and handed him over to the Gambian authorities. They did not ask him any question. They did not take any statement from him. So it's not their business to say anything. They only handed over somebody to the Gambian authorities without any question, without any statement. It's simply on the basis that Dari and Mama Jabi said he had confessed to the killing. So Dari and Mama Jabi should be able to tell us how and where this guy confessed to the killings, and they could not provide any evidence to that. Even the single audio that they recorded the guy, and used this audio to say that he confessed to the killings. When the police examined this particular audio, they realized that, oh no, we cannot present this in court. So something is not right. Is it still breaking? Let me know if it's still breaking. I'm not sure you can still hear me. Man, why this NPP folks be coming to my inbox and sending me all kind of messages? You people are funny. Man, know who to send those kind of messages to, man. I'm not interested in those, This is not about your politics. You can't cage people's brothers and expect that they're going to sort up and watch you do all your dirty politics. No way. So stop sending those messages. I can be disgusting like any one of you. Yeah. So let me know if you can hear me clearly. I'm not sure if I'm still breaking, but if I am, just let me know. Now, to move on, the watchman who actually said he wrestled down this gunman and then he picked this gun in pieces, and then he had submitted this gun to the authority, or the authorities had came to pick this gun. Now, imagine it took the authorities 10 days to pick this gun. Is that really correct? Could this be any? The entire Gambia was talking about this case, and everybody knew very well that, okay, this is what is going on, and they still tell us that, oh, it took you 10 days to definitely pick that gun. Something is not right. Now, the independent witness is the most interesting aspect of things. Look, I know hunted digger. Gambia can moy them anti-crime midnight simply because one of your white friends has an issue with a car here and there. And then you nga aga anti-crime. Anti-crime sen bunta bi yo munulo duga si main gate bi. But you see now nga duge. And then it was past midnight, and then you can actually enter anti-crime through the back door. Lolo fan na muna ami. How can somebody enter anti-crime through the back door at midnight without being processed, without presenting an ID card, without actually being logged in or signed in as a visitor to this particular site? But who even goes to anti-crime at midnight to actually argue a case? So that tells you that this independent witness was just a complete fabrication by the police and their, the machinery. Nobody goes to anti-crime at 12 in the night simply because you have a case, and then you still have the guts to enter through the back door, and nobody cares about that. No, this is a state institution that if you nightclub, even nightclub, you don't enter like that. Let alone a state institution, most of state intelligence institution like the NIA, the anti-crime, where we know all kind of things happen in that place. No, it doesn't happen like that. So it is not true. That's a lie. Ordinary visitors do not enter through the back gate and to testify at midnight or to serve as independent witnesses at midnight to say they had a case there. Ana tuba bobu nono ko xamantane mom koku la damal amal affaire moto bobu nono. Why didn't they bring that tuba pour koku mu wane degala ñun ñoo amon affaire moto, and then he came there because I had asked him to come there, or he came there because nobody among the people that he was working with was detained. So why was he there at midnight? Why was he there? Because he had a case of a vehicle and he could not report it to the police station. Anti-crime nekut police station bo xamantane if you have a case of theft or whatever, or there is some dealings, monetary issues, that you go to anti-crime. No, it doesn't happen like that. Amga Gambia, anti-crime uses this kind of intimidation tactic. They did it to one of my friends who was a British. One time we had this land deal with somebody, and then you had to pay 10%, and then if you failed to pay the other balances, something, you wouldn't get your money. And then this woman went and picked some folks within the anti-crime. When I came, I asked these folks, yes, you're anti-crime, yes, and what are you doing here? No, we came here to negotiate land. Yon anti-crime land mo len dugal si ay negotiate. And I imam again, we are negotiate. If we have a criminal case, we go to the courts. We don't go to anti-crime. So leave this house immediately. No, boy, I'm gonna understand. When they realize that we are not as dumb as they thought, they start making things now. I was like, man, boy, let me forget this minute. I'm gonna start taking videos of you, and we're gonna take you to court. And they had to leave. And these people are used to this kind of things. You know, we have criminals who are actually, masquerading themselves as police officers, and of course, doing all the terrible things in our country. So lolu nak fog mu em wala na Senegal el mani bodo keme lolu mona bo sunyala la bo sunanu la Gambia nyadin. Imagine you have occupying forces stealing over 500 5,000 or 500 bags of rice, who are bodyguards to the president, and then the government want to hide it. They don't want to talk about it, and they think we are all dumb. We just got to accept that the Senegalese occupying forces got to leave this country. We are a sovereign country. You cannot mortgage our country to the Senegalese, who basically are just our next door neighbors. And then when you have occupying forces for too long, who are your close door neighbors, looting is inevitable. And this is exactly what is happening. You go to Bara by, Friday in the evening, you see how these people crisscross. They are taking all our resources to Senegal. But then they don't want us to actually bring their wood into the country to export it to China. I've been very much opposed to wood theft from Senegal. But now understanding that these Senegalese occupying forces are looting, including even food stuff from the Gambia to Senegal, is disgusting when the ordinary Gambian is going to bed without food. This government is so inept and incompetent to continue leading this country. And they've killed the cops to actually frame the UDP. That was their entire intention. And this is exactly what Sankare told us. That is why, he is so disgusted by everything that the DIG told him. And that is why he did not support giving this guy any other, contract. Now, Sankare told us that part of the money that was paid to Ousainou Bojang by the political establishment that hired him to kill a dozen of police officers was recovered. Was this money presented to court? No. But the prosecution has ended its case without presenting the recovered money to the courts. So did you see the lies now? Did you see the lies now? You are an opposition here and there. I'm not interested in your politics. I love Gambia Marafo whenever, whoever dies, like you people waste. That's not my business. But we will not watch you incarcerate, one of our brothers for no good reason, and then you kill the cops that we know left their parents' house to go and serve this country with dignity, simply because of your politics. You can easily tell the obsession of the NPP towards the UDP. Gambia la tanya tola. Ousainou Dabo teng, na fata tenong, ola be fala teng, and all that. UDP no, this and that. Gambia is not about NPP and UDP. Think about how to develop the country for the ordinary Gambians. But everything you talk about UDP, NPP. Fata la tam Gambiat. And you don't want that to be said, we will say it, and then we will demystify everything that you try to hide in this case. And among it is, DIG so said Ousainou Bojang was in possession of a gun for a long time. Now, he was also at the UDP court case in Banjul. And Sankare told us that in Banjul, in that court case, he was the guy in the hoodie. And that was not Ousainou Bojang. So how did the government of the Gambia come up with that conclusion? How did they get to tell us that the man in hoodie at the UDP case was Ousainou Bojang? What was the intention in this case? The intention was simply to make Ousainou Bojang look like he was hired by the UDP, and then he was hired to kill police officers on behalf of the UDP, and he's a member of the UDP, and he works at Brikama Area Council. Imagine an entire government that has the entire machinery of the government workforce, has its chairman, or not the chairman at the time, because that's Yankuba Dabo, has its CEO in Brikama Area Council. They have access to every document and every information they need in any government department. Could just come out flimsily and say that Ousainou Bojang works in Brikama Area Council. The Ousainou Bojang we grew up with in Brufut never worked in any government department and does not work for Brikama Area Council. Why did the government lie? Ousainou Bojang was not hired and lodged in a motel because he works in a motel. So why did the government lie? With their entire 13, witnesses, none of them is able to tell us how and why they said Ousainou Bojang was a rebel and who hired him. And then they also told us that his co-conspirators met him in a mosque somewhere, and then they provided him with the escape vehicle. Why then did you arrest his sister? You realize that Ousainou has this problem with his white lady, and then he needed to go see somebody, to either a fortune teller or whatever, to help him out, and it was his sister who was helping to facilitate that, and then you now connected all of that and then said that, oh, the guy killed the cops, or he confessed to it, or he was hired by people, and then he was actually, you know, lodged in a motel, and then they provide him an escape vehicle through a mosque here and there. Yeah, fabrication will be that. That is the master script of the government that they've scripted to kill the cops and then frame the UDP. Olam tonyat. Niyo for olam tonyat, ni mo for dung olam tonyat. So what they successfully did is that, you know, they provided this entire script and made sure somebody is killed who bears the name Pate Jallow. Kabiring Yamamuri Sabari la sister Tulo Busa. Faboita UDP la court case to in Banjo. UDP ko be complain la ko Pate Jallow itela ka nyinke mulla tenente Pate Jallow la excesses fokam ko dol wa fale be nyinjalal ko fay bawo UDP ko ka be nyinjalal alanga mo fa min to bu ko Pate ba nda Pate fam fa no la ka he's a very senior officer wota nga modo family alon ko nim pareta nga la UDP ka nim pareta ngela party ban Sankare fengo fem fonya drong. That's the entire script, and everything that Sankare told us is not from him, is from the police, because the police took full ownership of that. What the police will far. Now that the police will had the guts to lie to the entire Gambia about the killing of its own men, then something is not fundamentally right in that country. And they did so just for political reasons. And their entire 13, you know, people they brought to court, none of them definitely could tell us anything tangible about that, report by Sankare. Why didn't they bring that Sankare's report to the courts? They will not talk about it. Now, the forensic expert of the police told us that the gun was exposed to rain and heat for 10 days, and that invalidates any possible DNA test. Police only kidi wo kidi ja Gambia. Also mo wala walunga fong nka jela police Facebook page. But muna atina kabiri yin kidi this killing happened. These people did not pick the gun right away. They said they left the gun there for 10 days. Why will the police leave this gun there for 10 days? Now, why, even after leaving it there for 10 days, they know very well that, you know, the gun was found. Why, when asked at their press conference, they denied that they did not talk about any gun recovery? You know why? Because at that point in time, they have to look for something that they could come and tell the Gambian people. It must be a gun that is not found within the Gambian armories, so that is Afoko Amambontollajang. But even the recordings that Mama Jabi and Alfuseni Dari did, Yamoto min fintini je number plate of fintini je. Ako senyo ko ela moto lo nyinte ino afele ya fintini little tam. But muna narage ego moto nyi yara from police all the time, and nyim police has access to a weapon, and this police officer is an oddly to a governor. So why was his private vehicle one of those, or that single vehicle that was actually pictured at this scene? But I'm yamunafo ego moto nying yeah, the taxi driver. But how can a private vehicle all of a sudden turn into a taxi, you know, within a short period? Taxi number tala, taxi number plate tala. Obeke anum police all the time omorot. Obeke no la taxi dinari lo wolum. So yela fabrication will gel. All of these things were not actually put forward in the courts. And then, funny is the ballistic examiner, a military major, a high ranker in the Gambia Armed Forces, who said that the request was sent to the office of the, you know, not Inspector General of Police. The request was sent through the, you know, CDS, Chief of Defense Staff, and then he was assigned to actually do this ballistic examination. So that means if it followed that protocol, it came to the Chief of Defense Staff and it was brought to him to actually do the ballistic examination. He did the ballistic examination. I am sure he will not submit the examination report directly to the police. He will submit it back to his boss, and his boss will send it to the institution that actually requested it. So if that is the case, how on earth could the CDS submit back to the police, you know, a report that has no date, that the examiner could not tell when he did it and how long it took him to do it? Ousainou Bojang did not kill the cops. You have no business in killing the cops. You have no business with the police. So you kill the cops and you want to frame this dude. And on professionally, no military will do a ballistic examination that is not dated, and that the person who did it cannot tell when he did it. And he came to court and he could not actually tell us what exactly happened. And I follow Mandiadrong. Look at the people involved in this case. Commissioner So, DIG So, Detective So, Adunta Jaborajana. What are they the only people in the police? Forward them Malawi police bank. We try not to get into those trivial issues, but we will get there because this case we cannot watch you do the wrongs. Government must be accountable for the killing of the cops because atolye kulonjel atolefa almefa kula lefa political kam. If that means anything to anybody, if there is any price to it, we are ready to pay for it. But we will tell you the truth, and we will not watch you incarcerate somebody who did nothing to all of you. About all taxi driver fanam fenang, you call fanam witness odol. Wakatale Ousainou atondi, Ousainou Bojang nala sister Samba towards the border. Now, this guy that took Ousainou Bojang to the border, he picked Ousainu's sister from Serekunda and took her to Brufut. And then from Brufut, the same day, on the 12th, from Brufut, they went to Brikama. Kabri futada Brikama. Walka jola kama dorono, but kabri futada far kuofola. Wotole comfort emi moi. Obeke no la tonya nyadi. Simple common sense will tell you that if I am sitting with you, and then I want to say something that I don't want the next person to hear, what would I do? I would speak in a language that they don't understand. So why would we speak in a language that the person does not understand until we got to the part of the killing? Then we speak in the language that the driver understood. Does it make sense? And this same driver said he ran from Serekunda to Brufut, from Brufut to Brikama, from Brikama to Marakisa in 30 minutes. You can tell that mathematically that is wrong. That is a lie. That's not true. Ousainou did not travel on the 12th. It was on the 13th. And this is exactly what his brother said in the video interview he had with Kirfatu. And you know what happened? They arrested the brother and detained him for days because they did not want his family to speak. And that's exactly what the police did. Itabe mumbonila no nyadi la Serekunda yo samba for Brufut, yebo Brufut kotengeta for Brikama, yebo Brikama kotengeta for border to eko beke within 30 minutes. And at the same time he said, when he arrived at the border, Ousainu's sister went to get, on the motorcycle too. And this motorcycle guy came and Ousainou bought the motorcycle to continue his journey. But then that was around 12 in the night. But when the motorcycle guy was brought to testify, he said he only picked Ousainou the next day in the afternoon. You see the inconsistencies in that? So they brought no evidence in court. They brought over 35, doubts and of course, different stories. Contradictions upon contradictions. Every other testimony contradicts the other. And then he said he brought back Ousainou Bojang's sister to Brikama. Wanara motota water 7 passenger purkata Serekunda. But a kabiri wal futa da Brikama la wale sonko dati. And then they start talking in a language he understood. And that is when he realized that this guy was the one that killed the cops. But why didn't he report him to the police? Why did he continue taking him all the way to the border if they spoke in a language that he understood? That nye crime like nye kule ke mi alon kanisilo manta. Munati nete mo wal report ite wal samba for border to korenke. Munande me emo fon sorom. In that case, he's an accomplice. Not that I mean for all of Mutonyat. But it's very obvious to every one of us that that is not true. That is a lie. The ballistic examiner said he has conducted ballistic examination on over 400, guns. And he is a major. But he said this gun type is the first he did. How did he determine the gun type? And then later on they brought the gun. But the same guy told us that only 3 bullets came out of this gun. But remember, 3 bullets, one killed the other boy, and the other one killed the party, and the other one really, was the one that touched the lady. Saying soldier and they were taking cover on the fence lines. But away it all bunkidi jumala. When they came to testify, those soldiers, that the guy was shooting at them and they were taking cover on the fence lines. But among watchman obu know them. Where Rasul down the buta obun kido la drong and the Boro continent. So if it is Ousainou Bojang who can do all this, he is able to kill 3 cops and escape 3 military officers, and of course escape the watchman, escape the entire Gambia, go all the way to Casamas just to go to to go to a garage and start crying. Does it make sense? And when you rebel ulted, e ka nyimmin fonyete ko rebelolom rebelo I mol fa Gambia I kana wol be like half you know who could actually operate within within seconds ka mo fula be fa almost mo saba way bonu I kana no wol be like half kaza masa futa woto and mo mara kana ni fala sister Ousainou o tilimbali yamin be inatara ko mata yo wul yamin be la kan ko sende o beke aman kana nyaso do fo ala sister wala kanandi wala nara moto kam kana kama fo brufut mana neo mol fa sukuta traffic light is very easy to get to wherever and then continue. Why would you need to go back all the way to Brufut for your sister to leave Serakunda and come with a car to pick you from there and then take you all the way to Brikama and then to the border and then to Jululung or wherever? Does it make any sense? Comment any sense le make molia? Kafu ka be do ko le Brikama area kan. Say ali will be for molia. How are you going to reconcile all of this? How are you going to reconcile all of this? Now, on top of it is that you said you wanted anybody who has information to come forward and give you those information. Mankajang went there. He got real-time information. He came back. What did you do? You arrested him because you did not want the information to come out. So everything that you are doing, and this is exactly how you continue to run our criminal justice system on single narrative prosecution and incarcerations. Amari yalong amalong ala kandrong a prosecute wakandrong a sorong wakang. Kodantale. Mol nyama masilang. This is the dumbest case that the government has been involved in. Abukolo ko kabiri ya jame ko sana sawa linyo la fada falal drong inata nangi duntala fankoro wol freestyle. When TRRC came, we all know the truth. But this one, we are not even waiting for any TRRC. Every Gambian understood very well that the government killed the cops, and they killed the cops for political reasons because their entire intention from the Sankare script was to ban the UDP. Karuka fo mole ko Ousainou Bojang do ko la Brikama area council la UDP la mara lola wodo. Ka fo ko abenu yankuba dawola case to la banyuna nin kido le beje. Wala nyindi ko UDP ko la mari. Ka fo ko a political entity wala mota pour ye police wala fa. Wala nyindi ko UDP lo. UDP le be complain kan ka fo ko parte jallo ila excesses is too much. Wala nal murun dal ta parte jallo do fa. Abeta ranata wolom wala may dega magis Ismaila Cissé mu tok QTV dinane time ya Jammeh ken do they resign fi dugana fi genn fele in the university. Ya Jammeh had no business with what we were doing in the university. Anybody could resign from the university. You did not resign because you were not interested in resigning. Your entire interest was to become a minister, and we know it. We work together. Let's not get there. So you either work for the country or you just sort up. Because what we know, if we got to say it, everything is going to really crap, So at some point, anybody could have resigned from the university. The university has nothing to do with politics. Now the other you go your way. So you cannot use states arrest to say that, who was resigning here, don't touch about. And the interesting thing is, like the Minister of Environment. So you wanted diga, do sa man, do sa ham, do sa yengu, do sa harinte, mola joh palas. You are a minister simply because you are related to the president. You are the least qualified to ever become Minister of Environment. They insulted me here and there. The president is the most religious. You people are not religious. You kill the cops. Ale police will fight off atol dina ta jumal lati jam. Or because he bari no iba fale bari na dina ta nyaton ko min be tambira gambeja. Ite keda no minister di nyamila amanke ko ila londo la dila wala ila pharmacie la dila wala kule no moma minno e telephone do ata mol be kono gambe mbe keno la Minister of Environment kon yow ñi bu ñoy wax yow nopil. You have nothing to say. It's not your knowledge, it's not your skills, it's not your competence that gave you that ministerial role. You are the least competent to become Minister of Environment in that country or to even become a minister. And we very well know that, cabinet fengo is coming out to light. So the president can continue to keep you there, but we will speak the truth. You people kill the cops and you cannot frame people's relatives and you expect that they are going to shut up on it. This is exactly what you did to, Omar Sajo. You said he's the son of Salif Sajo. Aliyah by army for no good reason. Up till date, you cannot say anything to the Gambian people about that. You people got to be accountable. And Senegal and the foreign occupying forces in our state house stealing bags of rice on a daily basis. Because in Senegal, these people are looting this country beyond recognition. and you still want, Barrow will continue to be president. As far as Barrow continues to be president, the Senegalese forces will continue to occupy the Gambia. And among them are not economic forces, because what kind of uniform they wear. I doubt if those people are economic forces. We will say it. And that's just the fact. And we are waiting for you to take Alcamba to court. You're supposed to go to court with Alcamba, right? Simply because they talked about what you did with the timber. Go to court. So I think, it's high time that we start, pointing at each other and tell each other the truth. So DIG, Imanta, you're not going to get a contract extension because today is your last day in the Gambia Police Force, and you will be remembered as the person who said Ousainou Bojang killed the cops. You are the one that said Ousainou Bojang is a rebel. You are the one that said Ousainou Bojang was at the UDP court case with a gun, that he confessed to that, and you're the people that said he works at Brikama Area Council. Allah will be more fun. So they tell you are going to retirement as the person who wanted to frame the UDP in the killing of the cops, the people who were working under you, because at that point in time you were the de facto IG because the IG had traveled. And you are the one that gave all those information to Sankare. And Sankare went to West Coast Radio to actually say all those fabrications and fabricated stories. What a sign. Allah for muna atin atol your fabrication of big. Munal do wala. What is the truth about that? To be very honest, like, sometimes you realize that they are only talking to dummies. But now, bring in an expert who will tell you that GIS can operate well. Out of 1,000 people, you are able to just pick on one person and start tracing that person. Another more turning sababe as witnesses. None could tell us that this is exactly what Ousainou Bojang did. And the only thing they told us is that so you want to base this entire case on he told me? Anybody can say he told me. I could sit here and say, oh yeah, the president told me this, which could be completely untrue. And no moment you will not brush this case under the carpet. As a so that is exactly what you people got to know. And it's not because the dude is from our community or because I know him or because I grew up with him. It's because of your stories. In the beginning, when this case came out, I was like, wow, how could this dude do this? I know this guy, but I don't know him as a criminal. Okay, things might happen. But when I listened to Sankare's entire script, I was like, yeah, man, government has just exposed itself. They are responsible for this. That script was so dumb. You people are not smart. You're not criminally smart. Because if you were smart, you wouldn't actually come and tell the Gambian people that kind of, filthy story and to cover up. Now that you've ended your prosecution, you've ended up your case, you put up all your fabrications here and there, what have you presented to the case as a tangible evidence? He told us. That is the only thing that somebody could conclude on. Aside that, nothing. So going forward, what could you basically... That is why you can see the agitation in the president. And he talked about Dabo here and there, I will come to your burial ceremony here. Okay, contextually, he might not intend to kill Dabo here and there, but I come from him by the wala nyinduka ina bankola sunya and wala mutonyati. Look, if government is to allocate land to the president, allocate a land that is not already allocated. How can you allocate an already allocated land to the, to the vice president or the vice president residence? You reallocate it to the president. That is abuse of office and abuse of power. Because this is an already allocated land. It does not belong to you as a person. It cannot be allocated to you as a person. So Dabo is right in this sense. So if you say that land was allocated to Dabo and his children, tell us that it was allocated either in the right or wrong procedures. But I bet what you people do is to come to government and to connive and to steal from the Gambian people. We will never move. They are not very different. But in this case, Barrow, that land does not belong to you and it cannot belong to you. You can develop it, you can go and live there. But your conscience will tell you that you stole from the people you are supposed to lead. And you're not being honest about it. Amadoloko, Banku Wuli Jalwe Yajame, you confiscated all that. But you came back and take the property that is already allocated to the vice president and the Nita personal property. Of course, you are entitled to land. It can actually be, giving to you. Go and take that which is not allocated to anybody. But an already allocated land to the vice presidency, that is theft, abuse of office. Stop calling me. Na NPP ko kill gang call. Marewa, Papa Bamfali akan call why. But anyway, if we look at it contextually, why on earth will Ousainou kill the cops? Why? Ousainou manke politician, Amandra UDP could, and then dadum politic. So who would have hired him to kill the cops? Paral be farin to Lagana town Oma from the forest or Mana Manta will fight. But I prefer be to Jacombara traffic light, Mulkata farin daming, and our police will forward. Onyong kuma can send away kidding. So this is why DIG, the police understood that you do put them in a mess. And they cannot give you any other contract. And that is why today you are going on retirement. I wish you a very good luck in your retirement. But know very well that the Gambian people will remember you for this case. For 40 years and beyond, you just do one single thing that destroys your entire career. And that is exactly what is happening in this case. But I'm a police la aji la fanan konyo ko keba nang obanda Gambia la wala ka kebal kajaf. So baro mi fo usenda we fo manke keba kajafo. So that is why sometimes it requires basic sense to be able to know what you tell the people. You cannot tell people if we want to go to court, we go to court. That is not IGP's business. So go back and read your TOR and know why you are put. But this is the government that employs the most incompetent people in our society. Simply because of their connections and embody yanim kukotengol. Because you're a brother-in-law to the president and you think, oh yeah, momenta ke banen na janki. Hey, ina na wadluaje muntola dunia ka bako momenta monen. Nyemoni modunta nyola wami damala hajol. Let them go to court. It's not your business. Mind your business and know what you are employed for. Kaboko, land issues, you are going to solve that. That is not your business. When has the police become the custodians of our lands? That tells you how incompetent your government is. And this is going to be my message, to the Manjago community. This boy they killed, and then most of you just sitting back and say, oh no, UDP, Bandinga doing. Hey, listen to me. You people got to put aside those kind of mentalities. It is today that your lands are now being dispossessed of more than ever. Legi imjom tepunta bukutenga bapuni nakanikata from Sirif Division buka jokumande puniringen taba. Oh no, Banyambi King, Peung problem. Has anything changed in the Barros regime? Nothing. Every day. You see, most of you are now selling your lands not because you intentionally want to sell those lands, and the pikra. Because these lands are those you used to do farming here and there. Imagine somebody comes to your land and tell you that, oh yeah, my great-grandparents own this land and I'm going to seize it from you after 50, 60 years of you living on it. And then the police would kill your son and then you come and say, oh no, we're not bothered here. No, you must be bothered. So those mentalities that people will tell you, oh no, these other people are here and there. I'm not interested in the politics of it. They are not different. Every day you are actually facing trouble with the Serif division. They're bringing people, conniving with them. They're giving them part of your land, and they're bringing documents to come and paste it on your wall. And imagine somebody who lived in this house for over 30, 40 years. You come and paste and notice there and say that you are evicting them. Serif division is the most disgusting institution in the Gambia. No, maybe oh, but see making buchwe. Manjakwa. Ming pelente puja kuma balon chiba buku chak nya buka belingu chakwi nya buka na manjakuri. But this is what I defend to the letter. So koi chung koi men da kapunya jawul ribat pa puja kuma puja chiba buku chak buka belingu chak o chakwi kat nan kaiwul ndeka puri butevru bosa sinuku yalam kaju angwanan taja paji ne balaka nyanga chatri kininga ne bana jakuma no loka mos ka chana mos ne jakuma no budoing Serif division chumba fambuko Serif division ka Gambia. And tefu na mpinda lala bukul, you know, kwa iba jairi ni rawule and then nepa negaja. Maybe kingala mtepu koti na bukul mdika kako. Hey, na natari kwenda kawi. That is where we've got to. And this is persistent all over Combo South. And upon now mpinda la, hey, asimba dika wele ni kamandra nyano kamula. Apojo kumo no ngetenkanabi. Olere ka gutika da robane ucha ko no jak manga gutere baro maybe kunu buke kurinya. Kachambo sarutanya aro pepu what sarantandi than yesterday. So use your brains. Don't allow to be deceived by folks who definitely are not more smarter than you. And then, you know, I saw, you know, my very good friend Mamadou Sabale jumping in some of your communities. You know, some people, because of courtesy, we don't get in details of certain things. But look, open your eyes. Don't be deceived by people who have no moral integrity to tell you what belongs to you and what does not belong to you. None of them will talk about the cops, including even Sabal. I know very well that they killed the cops. Even in that quest, they wanted to frame Sabal. That is why they even actually arrested him. My very good friend. That we hold very high regards. And I remember the last time I was in Gambia, the police had actually said that I, including him and other people, that we are enemies of the state because we sit and discuss issues of not even the state or whatever, but our personal issues. So it's not true. It's complete fabrications. Who is happy in that country? And the new people in the Panama, no, Banya, Dalilandaru, when Dalilandaru, in the Chicataga. Every day, in Tabanya, Banya Kapani, Karukuli notice, Gajakuma, the Paning Tabin, and then you still got nothing to say. And the Panin Jakuma. This dude wear police uniform to go and work for the country. A very young, promising boy, and his parents rely highly on him. But what did they do? Because his colleague's name is Pate Jallo, and the UDP was complaining about Pate Jallo. They killed that dude, and he could not escape that killing, and they turn around to make it look like, oh yeah, Ousainou Bojang simply because they cannot justify their actions, and they did it for political reasons. And this is exactly what Sankare told us. Even people in the police force knew this very well. And you don't need to be intelligent to know this. You don't need to be a service person to know this. It is common sense. And that includes even the IGP to the least person in that country knew very well the Kula Manta Kujang. So what we just put certain kind of emotions and thoughts aside. You know, we speak the truth to each other in a very frank way. Anybody can support whatever political party you intend to do so. That's your right. But nobody has the right to kill anybody and then frame another person and you expect everybody to be quiet about it. That's not going to happen. But what a kalajan? What a kalajan? The Barrow regime killed the cops, and they killed the cops because they intend to ban the UDP. If this story actually favors the UDP, so be it. But it does not change the facts around the case. And that is why your entire 13 witnesses, nobody could give you any tangible evidence in the case. And that is why you deliberately hide the gun for 10 days and subjected it, you know, valueless for DNA tests because Al-Malafika along me police sulfur. That is why your ballistic examiner lied to the teeth that he did a ballistic examination without a date. And then if this request was sent through the CDS, he must have reported back to the CDS for the CDS to send this report. So that means the army and the police are complicit in this case. But, you know, the army is that, you know, motarol doyan wala kotanki. Because not all man doyar mo nyimbanko kang ano for sign. What a moment of femfon wala tol be mo inola. Because the 22 years of Jammeh's regime, and after that with the TRRC and everything that came out, you people could still do ballistic examinations without dates. Your people could fabricate reports. Your men could actually, you know, testify in things they know nothing about. That even led to a point that people suspecting that they are potential, perpetrators of this particular heinous crime. Then something is fundamentally wrong in the Gambia Armed Forces. But I will nyama nyuma sekunda fo malatolla. Wala na Senegal le ben state house. What Senegal le kan mani bodol sunya ka samba Senegal. They are looting us at an industrial scale. And as long as Barrow remains in power, the Senegalese will continue to see Gambia as an annex because they will continue to loot our resources. And this is what foreign occupation does to countries. It cripples you to your knees. That is why the economy is not doing well. The dollar at the local market is $1 is to $70. You will the Gambia mu dem ci kanam nga xol ñu nekk state house ay ñi ñoo xamantene gomuñ dara xamuñ dara. So len ko waxe rek nga ne ñu ne da nga leen saga wala lif. But sometimes that is just the fact. Many from be Gambia maraka wal malla Gambia la ibuka Bojang kana dingol wulu janne. Yamna mol nyamara. Imagine you don't believe in the Gambia, you know, you come down over here for your wives and your you know, of course some of them women coming over here to deliver their babies. But they are presiding over the Gambia. Ñom gomuñu Gambia bu gaay nekk di lead. Sen doomi duñ fa judo. Yeen lañ bëgg ngeen tok fofu nonu. And they want you to continue giving them the position to lead you. But they don't believe in the system they themselves are creating for you. And they will turn around and kill your children and frame other people because of their politics, because they want to remain in power. This is how people entrench themselves into power. So barobula ne, you know, the man neka president fi be dawo de kay mo. And dawo bude day in the next 20 years kon yo continue neka president. He's going to take back that land from you, even if it membudul Davos or whoever we are all going to get into that politics. Make it nice, make it filthy, we are coming into it. Because we realize that to change that country is not to sit back or to be in a classroom when you see idiots coming out there and stealing and looting the state resources at a rate that is unimaginable. That cannot continue to happen. So all of this will end. We have seen post-COVID in Africa, and we have seen how the trend is going, and it will definitely happen in our country because we cannot continue to look at you, more so the legislators. Yeah, Menteng, I will come to you briefly. You know, one time I said, you know, you people are parado parliamentarians. No parliamentarian took offense of that because that is the fact. All of you took the parados because you people want to live that flamboyant lifestyle. You came to my inbox and called me, that was rude. Yeah, Menteng, fenne kulubali ala tambida ka mulla kodota ka parado le sangwala. Ya menden kulubali ala tambida ka foko mbatol jolal fo anal fadan ka dingol jo kulubali ala tambida wala ya menden kulubali ala tambida ka to la salary la fa nyala mi yalon ko atol more killing. Even the speaker alone and a 5-year salary can pay somebody's entire civil service career. Kulubali ala tambida wala ya menden kulubali ala tambida to come and sit on the TV to justify that, yeah, you are very happy to be driving in parados when Gambians are going hungry on a daily basis. You have the guts to come to my inbox and tell me that, oh yeah, that is rude of you to call people parado parliamentarians. And then you try to justify that by bringing back, you know, the issues I had back then with some folks back at the University of the Gambia. Let me tell you clearly about that issue. I was University of the Gambia Student Union President in 2013, 14 or 15 or thereabout. These same folks, you brought their issues to me because at the time you claimed to be studying law. I correct Facebook. You come to my inbox and had the look. I have high regards for people very close to you. So look, keep that a bit loose. I don't care. I don't most if I like na UDP defense of no Gambia simply because you know you know nothing, you don't know how to interact with people, and then you take offense for your own, you know, flamboyant lifestyles. Why do you even need parados in the Gambia? Why do you need to increase your salaries in a way that you leave other people who are working better than you? I don't come to like a Gambia mi alonko. I don't fisa mante yada mo kodengol. I don't let mo expertise la so mi fisa yada mo kodengol. You know, you are just serving yourselves in that parliament, and then you claim to be serving the Gambian people. I openly supported your candidacy, but I am so much disgusted by you. And you had the guts to come and tell me, you know, this is what you said to this person 2014, 15. Hey, Neo, if you bring back 2014, 2015 to today, I will tell that person worse than I told him that time. You know why? Those are the same people when Jammeh was at the peak of his leadership, they accused me of organizing a protest in the University of the Gambia. You have listened to, Dr. Ismail Assise talking about Said Mati's case, that nobody could resign from the UTG because they all fear Jammeh. That was the moment in that same case that those same folks have the guts to come publicly to accuse me of organizing, protest against Jammeh's government at the University of the Gambia. Where were you then? What did you say about that? Because you were part of those people. And you know what your problem was? You people hated Professor Carr to the what I cannot even imagine. And then for me, you consider me the rubber stamp of Professor Muhammadu Emoka. And what you could do was to report me to the NIA, to report me to the Office of the President, that I was the one calling for protest against Jammeh's regime on the arrest of Said Matijau. That even the current state minister said nobody could dare resign. You had the guts to come to my inbox to talk to me about that? And you consider that calling you parado parliamentarian is rude? What is ruder than, increasing your salaries and bringing in bills that are nonsensical to the parliament? And you expect Gambians to sit and watch you? Either you had the guts to tell me that, oh, that's rude. Vehicle allowances and paying yourselves, professional allowance. I don't know professionalism. Yaya Menteng had the guts to come to my inbox to say that, but I know you wouldn't repeat it. You told me you have 2 degrees. Ask those who I've dealt with before. I respect everybody, but you want to bring your nonsense to me, I give you the right part of it. So you are a disgusting parliamentarian. So when people respect you, respect them. Oh, you are happy to have a parado, but you hate to be called a parado parliamentarian? Who are you? I criticize the NPP a lot more than even the UDP. And most of these folks and some of these parliamentarians that you sit with, you try to tell me, oh yeah, I got 2 degrees well earned. Nigga, you got bachelor's degrees, okay? So you don't bring that to me. Take that to those who require or who want to know that. If you cannot write basic constructive sentences on your WhatsApp status and then you brag about having 2 degrees, that is not to me. Take that to somebody who needs it. I got people I taught at the university who have bigger positions than you in that parliament. So respect yourself. You are all the same. So that is why if anybody put you as a symbol, man, and you are the people who are leading, no, bro. It's a one thing. So let that be the very last time. A lot of people say, you know what, just ignore him. But I know I'm not going to ignore you. Ignoring you is, certain people will ignore you. Maybe they have a point. No, ignoring people like you is giving you a validation of your, madness. I will give it to you exactly as you deserve. Alman for the Fenalbe killing. The National Assembly has over, 15 UDP MPs or so. So if you tell us that, oh, NPP is bad, who are those making those laws? I don't think. You started off very good, opposing things that are, but what happened? Along the line, you all slow down because it's all about your pockets. It's not about Gambian people. And we know how you're falling out with even close associates of you. So be careful. Don't bring those past things to me. That political establishment you talked about, anytime you bring that to me, I will tell you worse than I ever told those folks. You know why? Because I even never talked about that issue since then. When the NIA were calling me, where were you? When a minister left State House then and came to Westfield, to confront me at Westfield to say, I'm going to be soldat, be careful, on something that I know nothing about. But simply because of basic student politics, those folks you intend to defend were actually reporting me on things that I do not know. You want me to send a screenshot of those? And some of them, at a time, were looking for scholarship from Yaya Jammeh. Among them, I will mention their name, Alkali Diba. Came to Facebook and said, oh, my mama, you are calling people for the protest here and there. Simply because you were looking for a scholarship at the Office of the President and you think lying against me was the right thing to do. And then you came to America and you think Jammeh was the most evil person. But you are the same people who were gathering students to go and when Jammeh get guests, you are the same people who will gather people to go to the airport. And you turn around and want to make it look like, and you are the same people who are reporting people to Yaya Jammeh. mfara wala tembo do nganyo to foko you know itele karnyol nenya ndale ngene ngadiata ndele ni wo kuyate e fan fadi anu nimbi mu kunundi mbe min fole mammin fo no fambola fole. And the same people turn around and say, hey, you got to run away. Run away from where? What I know nothing about. Why should I run away? When the minister confronted me, the people I later supported and insulted them for those people are the same people who stood and defended me and said I knew nothing about it. And among them was Ousainou Bojang. Take it to national politics. And I'm very much interested in it. And let me tell you one thing. We're coming into the politics. Alman Karandi, Alman Londi Sodonti, Alman Faramansanti, Alman Fensodonti. So if people give you people political position and then you think you are better than people and then you have the guts to come to my inbox and to talk shit, you see that the government killed the cops. None of you had the guts to say anything about it. And this is exactly what you people did 22 years ago. It is as if nobody notices what is happening, but simply because we don't care, we are all protecting ourselves. But that is what happens when in a country, it's only the government that actually takes care of people, you know, and jobs. So we will actually end it here because it's more or less it's Friday. But, you know, it's almost like Juma prayers. I would just end it at you. The government killed the cops and they want to frame Ousainou Bojang. And this is exactly what happened. And you, the people in Gambian parliament, are parado parliamentarians. You are not representing the people. You people are the worst that we have ever had in any legislative setup that ever existed in this country. O batare yala tambirol mol bo fole de ka fole ko kulubali man tambiatol ke barolo parlement kono. So that's the point. So we will end it at that, and then we will defend Ousainou Bojang to the letter because we know very well that he killed no cops. He is not involved in any killing of the cops. But you will leave this innocent dude because he did nothing. You killed the cops to frame the UDP and you wanted to ban the UDP. You failed in that quest and you don't know where to bounce back, and now you are using delayed tactics in court. Your government is a notorious, murderous government, just like Yaya Jammeh's government. You are no better. So, you know, we would end it at that, and then we get back to you another time. Because now we hope that, you know, after 1 month, you know, the defense will be able to gather whatever they got to put up for, you know, no case to answer. But we know that is just an application. Thereafter, you know, we will have the defense coming forward. And then, you know, then and there, we will know what exactly happened. Allah will come back to haunt you. This government is disgusting and terrible. I used to be a very big fan of the Barrow regime, but not until you kill the cops that I know very well, that I have very close friends in the police force, and on top of it, you frame somebody that I know and grow up with, and then you still expect people to support the regime. And some, oh no, if you oppose Barrow's regime, you're actually supporting UDP. Let it be that. Not the I can join the UDP. I own myself. I am an independent adult. When it was time to go to school, I went to school. So whatever I do it out of my own thoughts and thinking. It's not dictated by any other person. Even senior police officers knew very well Katole Police Olfa. Even the badge mates of the people you killed, that you denied them access to these persons, know very well that Atole Fakatu is very normal that Nila Moe problem also what they do, they gather money and then take it to this person. Why do you deny them access to Ansi Jao? And the same Ansi came to testify. He said, Ousainou Bojang London Magic, Alkaja telephone on Yam Fananga Wala Yama. Saddle Bafon Lanyadi like Wale Police Olfa, when I'm funny Arabic carrying. So anyway, you know, have a good one. You all have a great Juma. You know, we hope that, you know, hopefully we're bringing you updates every Friday. Friday is like, you know, a day to be at home, and it's good to really bring about issues that are happening. Senegal, like, man, bodo for uli lula for kemelu. I mean, tambiro like all less mobile kasamba Senegal. Damiano konko bol fala. Goma sakundala bembud. You know, and we made Gambia look like it's just UDP versus NPP until Gambians begin to think beyond UDP, NPP. Ndetala. Because tilimbalia mimbe imansa kunda kon ni fengara ibuka fem nyine buka fem fon tole mimbe na banko sambala nyada wala dabo ko teng you say, you know, baro ko teng dabo teng, you know, yaba mola ke bal kaja fela jana wala bo wani mol albe dunna nyo kasida jana, you know, you throwing stones at each other instead of developing the country. Gambia is more deplorable today than it was ever. But then you see people who jump and say, look at Brikama Market, and you see people who are in government telling you that, oh, look at BAC, they are doing nothing. What is the role of the central government? You know? But anyway, y'all have a good day. Goodbye.